Hello, and welcome to your Trager Approach session. My name is Calliope, and I am going to be your practitioner today. How are you doing today? I see. I hope by the time you leave this session, you feel even just the littlest bit better. So what do you know about Trager Approach? Why is it that you wanted to have one of these sessions? I see. Alright, well, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to tell you a little bit about its history and background. Wonderful. So Trager Approach actually has two parts to it. We have the bodywork, and we have the somatic movement re-education part, and then we have the Mentastics, which is short for mental gymnastics. They're these sort of simple meditative exercises that help increase your balance, stability, and your attention to things within the body as well as outside. So, Trager Approach was developed by Dr. Milton Trager, and the bodywork side in particular started to be developed when he was a teenager in the late 1920s. So it's said that he performed some body work for his coach and then for his father's sciatica. Then after that, he practiced his techniques with people at a beach he frequented. Now, this was the time where polio was a big thing. Paralysis and polio. So he worked with a lot of people that had paralysis in order to facilitate them gaining more balance and stability and more movement. Now, Dr. Trager called this a psychosocial integration. That was his name for it. And he didn't actually start teaching his methods until he was in his late 60s. So quite a bit of time to refine his ideas. So the Trager Approach uses gentle touch and sort of inducing this relaxed, safe, meditative state. We use frequent check-ins, and we work within your pain-free parameters. It's this sort of teamwork. It's not just me doing everything, but we're both facilitating this dual working environment. We aim to increase range of movement, flexibility, stability, and balance the body. And we can talk a little bit more about all of that during the session. So to start, I would love to have you lie face up. That's all right with you? Wonderful. So for this treatment, I will need to be touching you. Is that okay with you? Do I have your consent to do that? Wonderful. Thank you. Are you comfortable like this? Do you feel like you need any support anywhere? Maybe under the neck, under the knees, or the ankles? Alright, do let me know if you do. And I'm just gonna pop on my glasses so I can see you better. Here we are, we got full HD now. So are there any particular areas that you want me to focus on? Alright, so I'm going to start very simply. I'm going to take your arm here. This is an easy place for people to start. It can be much simpler to let go working with the arm as opposed to the head, for example. And I'm just going to hold the arm, and I want you to let it fall heavy into my hands here. Just let the weight completely go into my hands. Let me hold this up. Alright? So we're going to try to show your body, to prove to your body that I am here to support, that I'm not going to let you fall here, and that it is allowed to relax. Now, the biggest part here is that I need you to tell me if you feel any pain or discomfort, because the moment that you do, the body acts out of reflex, and it will often recoil. And that's going to be counterintuitive to our process here. Bring a little bit of traction here. Yes, and I can see some stiffness here, right in here. And we're going to try to just let this relax a bit more. So the Trager Approach uses a lot of movements that are like water, like ocean waves. Lots of gentle rocking, stretching, compression, maybe some torquing. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now when I do this, I get a little bit more movement. And now the neck feels like it's moving a little too. That's what we want. We want to remind the body of its connections. The arm is connected to the shoulder, to the junction between the shoulder and neck, to the neck, to the head. Here we go. So Trager Approach was a little ahead of its time, really, because it works indirectly, not necessarily by name, with the idea of neuroplasticity, which is that the brain is always learning. There we go. See how much easier that is right there. Good. The brain is always learning, and it forms new pathways. And even though it's learned these sort of holding patterns, whether it's because of injury or trauma, it's learned to hold itself and carry itself in a specific way. But it doesn't have to stay that way. It does not have to be that way. It can learn and grow. I can see so much less tension here. So I'm actually going to just put your arm here, and I'm going to come up underneath your shoulder. Yeah, I'm going to rock the shoulder around here. So I'm going to pick up the shoulder, and we're going to move the whole thing here. Good. How does that feel with me supporting your shoulder? Good, good. We're just asking the body how much freer it can be. How can this move easier? How can it be softer? So back to our neuroplasticity. The body learns to avoid pain, and if we even accidentally induce pain, we can get it right back in that pattern. So by moving in this small but pain-free threshold, we are teaching the body that it can move without pain, that it can move without tension. Good. I'm just going to keep up with this oscillation here. That's what we're doing. We're creating a safe environment for the body to learn. That's where the somatic movement re-education comes into play. Good. And let's see. There we go. Feel how this has so much less tension? Good. So this is how this can always feel. You have the ability to remember what this felt like and carry it with you. Good. And I'm going to give you a moment. We're going to let that sort of sink into the mind and the body. Give it a second to catch up. And then we're going to come around to your head and neck. So I'm going to come in here and we will just explore the tissues a bit. We have this sort of playfulness we work with in Trager, this childlike curiosity and wonder. We're playing around with how could this area be easier? How could this feel freer? And I think that playfulness really lends to the safe atmosphere that we like to instill here. Just going to work with the neck and the shoulders. Bits of palpation here. We're curious about how things work in the body. We're not looking to diagnose. We're not looking to pick you apart. But instead, we're just exploring. It's a little more humanizing. We're just kind of playing around. We're having a good time. Up. So as I am feeling around the head, back of the head, jaw, temples. How does this feel for you? Mm-hmm. Yes. Good. I'm just going to kind of work in here. And then I think we are just going to do a little bit of movement. Alright? So we are going to work in small movements. Let's come right here. Just little ones. And again, just tell me if anything feels uncomfortable. Because the moment that it does, that's the moment this stops working. We're using really gentle movements. How does this feel? I'm just very gently bringing your head side to side. This lateral side bending. We're just using these little movements. Good. And I'm going to very gently bring you a little bit up and a little bit down. Good. And this is still very comfortable, pleasant even. Good. Back and forth. And then let's do a little bit of turning. And a little bit of turning. There we go. Just gentle rotation. There. So see, these little movements can be really nice. They can feel really good for the body. Just because we move a certain way doesn't mean that it has to hurt or be stiff or anything like that. And let's bring some of that into the shoulders and the neck here. So let me start with some compression. Good. And as we're opening up the chest here, just a little bit, not even to the point where we have a stretch. Does this feel any different to what you're used to with these sort of movements you do yourself? Yes, they're gentle. There's almost no movement. It's very gentle. Good. And if I could just lift here. There. So we have this stability. And you can let your shoulders just drop into my hands. Good. I have you supported here. Let's just bring some movement here. So I want you to really pay attention to how this feels, because this is how this can feel even when I'm not supporting you. Your body has the ability to feel like this all the time. It just needs to remember what this feels like. Got our support, we have our rocking. It's very slow. Good. Let's just press on that a bit. Reconnect. If you just want to take a deep breath in here and out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Good. Now let's go ahead and move to your other arm now. I am just going to assess our tissues. I can already feel that this is starting off a lot less filled with tension than when we started. Yep, that's a lot better. Good. Well, we're just going to keep up what we did on the other side and work with our rocking. Good. Here, maybe I just take the arm here. Let your arm go floppy here. Just take the arm and get some movement. There. And do a bit of traction. This is how I can check in with how the connection is in your body. Excellent. And how does this feel here? Does this feel any softer? Good. Good, I can see that there. Now put your arm across your middle and come up underneath the shoulder so that we can get our bouncing, our rocking in. A lot of movement to this. We hear it in the table quite a bit, don't we? Lots of creaks here and there. That's good. That means we're getting the whole body involved. Just bounce the scapula here, and we can do some compression. Good. Just trying to release the tension and get your body to just open up. There we go. Good. Just a little bit of stretch here. There we go. That looks much better. Excellent. Can you feel how much freer this area is? Yeah. Hear that quite a bit throughout. You want to affirm what's going on so that you know to tune in, pay attention. That way you can feel the results in real time. Good. We are going to move to the stomach and the chest area. I'm just going to move your arms here And let's work with the chest here. So we got a little bit of this when we were working with the head and neck. We're starting with some of our rocking here. Just while I'm getting a feel for how everything plays together. And I can see that as I'm doing this, your neck is getting involved, your arms are getting involved. So we have done quite a bit to ease the tension here. Good. Done quite a bit to ease the tension here. Good. And here we can do stretching, for example. Static stretches. Good. And we've gotten some compression and rocking in there. We'll also get to a move called torquing. So I might put my hand here, another one down by the hip, and press it, compress. Good. I can do that for the other side as well. This is a good area to continue with our rocking, especially since it involves a large part of the body. Might even see your feet and legs get involved. And that's a lot of the somatic part, is that we're reminding the body that it's not just a lot of bits and pieces or whatever we're focused on at one time, but instead a whole unit that we can feel all concurrently and simultaneously. Right, and with the stomach area, in this one we can do some gathering of the tissues and give that a bit of a stretch. Good. Just like that. Bit of compression here and some of our rocking. So then we'll move on to your legs. We'll move to your back and then finish with your head. We've got quite a bit to go yet. Good. Let's go ahead and just bring this down. Rocking from side to side here. And this will be a good move to bring this to your leg. Just going to feel around here the relationship between the hip, the thigh, knee, shin, down to the foot here. You could just let me take the weight of your leg here. Just going to support it. Good. Let's kind of see Alright, we're starting off pretty good actually. So when I do a little bit of traction there, a little pulling, I can see the rest of the body getting involved. Let's do a bit of rocking here. Good, okay. How does this feel, having your whole body rock with your leg? It feels connected, good. And let's see if we can do a little bit of traction. Yeah, let's just do this. And then let's do a little bit of internal rotation and a bit of external. How are we doing here? No pain? Good. Internal, external, internal, external. Good. Good. A little bit of rocking, a little bit of compression. Good. I'm just going to hold at the hip here. Hold on to the leg. There we go. There we go. These tissues are a lot softer than when I first worked with them. That's a lot more flexible. Do you feel that flexibility there? Good. Let's see if we can bring this up. Maybe do just a bit of movement here. Little ins and outs. Good. And you can do that with the foot. Just a bit in and out. Rotation. Flexion, extension. Well within our parameters. And back. Good. Good. Just keeping with our rocking here. All the way to the foot. Maybe we get a little bit of a stretch here. Stretch. Even here. Good. Okay. So, I'm going to move to your other leg. What do we have going on with this leg here? What's our relationship between the foot, ankle, knee, hip, and then to the rest? of the body. See what we've got in terms of traction. Okay, there we go. Good. That's what we want to see. So even though we haven't worked with this leg yet, we can see it's already a lot looser. Back and forth and getting our traction here. Good. Maybe do that internal rotation just a little bit. Rotate. Good. There we go. A bit of compression. Into the hip here. There we go. Take the leg and just do a bit of our up and down movement here within our limits. And we can take the foot and do our bit of internal rotation, external rotation, flexion, extension. Not enough to stretch, just enough to play around in our boundaries. Come out, in, out and in. Good. A little bit of stretching here. So in a moment, I am going to have you flip over so that we can work on your back. Just want to support your leg here, get our traction. There we go. Good. Go ahead and get you on your stomach so we can work on your back. So I am going to feel around like we've done with the other parts of the body. And essentially everything we've done with the chest and stomach we can do here. And we can just start with our rocking. Let everything settle and relax. And keeping my hands on the body. Can you feel how your whole body is getting involved in this? Connecting all the pieces together. Good. There we go. And we can do a bit of stretching here. Good. Right down the spine, along the side, creating space in the tissues. And compressing down, forcing your mind to stay in your body instead of out wherever, thinking about the future instead of the present. We can even do our twerking here. One hand opposite the other. Opposite sides. Giving it a good cross stretch. And bringing it all together. The tissues are much more pliable. Can you feel how your body glides so much easier back and forth? Good. That's right. So then I am going to have you roll back. And we'll finish with your head, neck, and face. Let's see what's changed here. What's different here? Can you tell what's different here? Good. I want you to remember that. Remember that it is possible to feel like this. And with these sessions, we can continue to find your body, what this feels like. And it can learn to let go of what it was like and embrace what this feels like. Good. So let's just bring a little bit of movement in. Okay. A little bit of side bending. Good. Little bits. Excellent. And how does this feel different? Does it feel a little smoother? Good. It does feel smoother. Feels less tense. Okay, and let's go up and down. What kind of feeling do you get with these little movements? A bit freer. Good. Very good. just a little. We're not going to go look for your limit, because we will find it, and that's going to reinforce that sort of pain response. Good. And let's come back into shoulders, just a little. Yes, they definitely have a lot more fluidity to them. They are much more responsive, and the body is working a lot more with it. We're getting more response in the chest, the neck, and the arms. Everything feels more connected. Wonderful. So that is going to be the end of the bodywork portion. Now we are going to talk a little bit about Mentastics, the mental gymnastics. This is going to be very simple. I just have one exercise for you. It's very simple, very easy. If it wasn't, then people wouldn't want to do it, right? So I want you to, however much you'd like, however many times, if you could stand and close your eyes. I want you to just take note of everything going on in your body. Everything that's going on and where everything is. Where are your arms in the space? Where are your legs, your head? And we're just going to kind of check the alignment of everything. So ideally, how we stand is with our head centered on our shoulders, right? The top of our spine, we are not dipping forward or back. We want our shoulders to be not pulled too far back or forward. We want them to form this line with the rest of our body. We want our hips and our shoulders to be in the same plane. And we want our feet to be shoulder and hip width apart. We want to be right, all in that same plane. We want all that weight to go straight down and into the earth. So if you just sort of rearrange yourself, shift around, and see if you can get to that place of balance where you believe that everything is in alignment. And that's not the whole part of it, but it is a lot of it. After that, I want you to shift your weight. Shift about 75% of your body weight to one side. And just feel around with what that sensation creates in the body. And then bring it back to the middle. Then you can shift to the other side and just play around with that positioning. And come back to the middle and try to see what the perfect balance is between the two. You can go back and forth a bit more. But you want to play with where the middle is. And then you'll do the same for front and back. Lean back. Play around with that. Come back to middle. Lean forward. Play with that. Come back to middle. And shift around back and forth between the planes until you feel you are in the truest middle that you can be in. And that is all you need to do, is just play around with how much easier you can make your body feel, how much more effortless you can make it feel when you reach that middle. Right? Simple enough? It's a lot easier in practice. Good. So, until next time, that is going to be your assignment. Your bit of homework. Okay. It was an absolute pleasure having you today, and I'd like to thank you for coming into my office. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, it would greatly help me out if you clicked the like button and left a comment so YouTube's algorithm registers that it was a good video. If you want to see more of my work, consider subscribing to the channel. I create primarily medical, pseudoscience / alternative medicine, and personal attention ASMR roleplays. But I've done a little bit of everything, from historical to sci-fi to fantasy. If you'd like to support the channel, I offer ad-free videos, early access on videos, and exclusive content on Patreon. Or I also have a Ko-Fi link for a one-time donation, or a throne wish list for props and equipment. Thank you again, and I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night.